Hi guys. So a lot of you had some trouble with getting Arma sync working properly, so I'm gonna do a quick video tutorial so you guys can see what's going on and how to set it up. So the first thing we do is we go to Armaholic and download Arma sync. So we're gonna scroll all the way down and there's a click to download Arma sync here. So click it, wait for a bit, save it. Yes. Now we have to wait just a small bit. Alright, now it's done. You can open it with your preferred unzip program and start the setup. In this case, Windows is trying to protect me from malicious software, but I'm gonna execute it anyway. So now the basic setup screen you usually get, which is pretty easy. We're gonna accept the agreement, we're gonna install it. It doesn't really matter where, but I'll just gonna do the default one. Well, there we go. That was the installation, which is not very hard to do. So once Arma sync has booted up, we go to add-on options. And we're gonna click on the blue plus sign here to add a new add-on search directory. This will be the folder where Arma sync will look for to get his mods and also where he will store them. So you don't want this to conflict with your workshop mods. Because if you set the workshop folder here, Arma sync will try to override all kinds of files and delete kind of files out of your workshop folder, which is something you really don't want to have. So we're gonna make a separate folder for that. I already did that for myself. So this is my root directory for Arma, and I made a mods folder, which we will select and open. Now you can see the path here. Once we did that, we can go to repositories and we're gonna click the blue plus sign here as well to add a new repository. At repository name, you can just add whatever you want. I'm just gonna do taskforce omega in this case. For the file transfer protocol, we're going to use FTP, and for the connection, we're just going to type in taskforce omega.nl. We keep the port as it is, and for the login, we use anonymous, which you can also use this box for. If you click it, it will automatically type in anonymous for here, and then you're going to click OK. Once that is done, you're going to select the new repository we just added and click this button to connect to the repository. If you have any connectivity problems during the setup of the repository, you can always check in the browser and select FTP taskforce omega.nl, press enter, and you should be able to see the entire repository in your browser. If you cannot see this, then there's no point continuing because you just simply cannot connect to the server. In that case, you should verify if the server is online. Now Arma sync will go into the repository and will see what's going on in the folder. He will check if how many of the files on the server are corresponding with the files in your selected mods folder. If it doesn't do this automatically, you can just do that, like enforce that by clicking the check for add-ons button here. It will look for it again and will do the same thing. So the easy thing to do would now be select all and download everything, but that, as you can see here, it will be 57 gigabytes of files, which will take quite a while if you don't have the right download speed, which can be influenced by location of the server and the bandwidth available right now. If a lot of people are also downloading from the repository right now, the download speed will get lower. we're gonna help Arma sync a little bit by opening the Arma root folder. If you have your workshop folder available here, you can just easily click it. If you don't have that, you can go into the Arma launcher, go to mods, click a random mod, and display more options, and you can use the open folder in Windows Explorer. If you click that, you will get a message where they strongly recommend not to change anything. We're gonna accept that, and then you will be in this folder as well. Now we're here. We're gonna select everything in the workshop right now. In this case, I have all the same mods which are on the server right now. Some may have been updated, some may have not. I really cannot tell by now, so I'm just gonna select it all. If you have a lot of other mods, you can just pick the biggest ones. For example, cup, RHS, JSRS, and select them and move them into the mod folder. So that's what we're gonna do. Go back, click the mods folder, and copy them over. In this case, I used Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to copy the files over. And we're gonna wait a bit. Alright, as you see, the file transfer has been completed. Now we're going back to Arma Sync and click on the check for add-ons button. What it's gonna do is it's gonna check all the files which are currently in the mod folder, which came from the workshop, and he's gonna verify with the server to see which files are correct, which ones are not. That might take about a few minutes, but it's a lot faster than downloading all the files from the server. Alright, that one is done. As you can see, there needs to be 78 files need to be updated and 42 needs to be deleted. So I can see here, every mod with an exclamation mark needs some kind of tweaking. So you can open it and see what's going on. The blue ones mean that they have to be deleted. In this case, it's the SAF weapons PBO, which we don't use because we don't use RHS SAF mod. So I ripped that out to save some space. So, for example, at the lamps danger mod, you can see some files need to be updated in red. We're gonna close them for now and just select everything where something needs to be done. In this case, 5 mods. And then we're going to click the start and resume button here, and it's going to download 2.5 MB of files. It's going to delete all the others, and this shouldn't take that long. There we go. The download has been finished. It will recheck again what the current status is, where you can see 0 files need to be updated and 0 files need to be deleted. So that's perfect. If you need to download more files than me, like for example some bigger files or some outdated, like further down the line we will add more mods, what you can do is go to settings and check the maximum number of connections. By default it should be 10, but if it's any lower you can increase it to 10. So more files can be downloaded at the same time. You can also check if there is anything blocking your maximum download speed. Once we've done that, we can check the online tab. By default, the repository loads in this favorite server for you. So taskforce Omega, the right IP address with the right port. There is no password, and you should start with the taskforce Omega mod set. If you click join server and select the taskforce Omega server, you can now start the game with the mods correctly installed. And there we go.